Okay, finally got this hooked up. Hi. Um, Many of you know me as Boxer, or whatever I went by before, and I'm here to make a video about where I went. I stopped uploading back in, let me check. Hi, Athena. I stopped uploading about 2 years ago. I stopped uploading. What happened, many of you may ask. Well, sorry, there's a cat. um, Many of you may remember old Minecraft videos where I talked about being at my mom's and my dad's. I was being physically and mentally abused by my mom in her house. I was a person on a watch because I had severe depression and I would do all kinds of bad things, and I was not supposed to be left alone. Even though I was 16, I was old enough, I was not meant to be left alone because of the watch I was on. My mom would leave me home alone and just let me go. Let me do as I please. Let me upload this. Uh, uh, well, when I was being abused, I was not in a good headspace, so I was uploading. I uploaded Minecraft videos because I wanted to feel included, feel like I could do something. After all those videos, they just stopped because I no longer had a safe space to upload because I felt really depressed. And well, things just got really out of hand. My mom and my family, it was very much chaotic. I, at 16, was pushed by my mother to get a job. I mentioned this in one of my videos that I needed a job to pay for stuff. Well, that job became one of my getaways, and also my mom pushed me to always be at that job because, well, all she's ever done is work, so all I should ever do is work. I would have the worst time going in, even though I loved my coworkers. They were so nice. The person I was working for was someone I'd known since I was little. They were so nice and caring for me. But I would sit out in a car until the very last couple minutes of the time I would be going in, and then I loathed working because I didn't get much money. One, which that's economy. And two, it was just constant and I did not feel right because I was working at a pizza place. And I don't know if you've seen these. See these chicken arms? I would have to constantly pick up stacks of pizza and move them around, and it was not a really good thing for someone as small and as frail as I was. Because another thing, I was severely underweight. I am 5'8", 5'7", and you are supposed to weigh in the 140 to 150 range when that is. I was about 120 or less. And my mom encouraged that. She wanted me to be like that. I did not know I was severely underweight until I left. So, my junior year, I decided I was done. I decided enough was enough. I told my mom I want to stay at my grandmother's for the summer. And this was before I realized anything, and I thought maybe I can just get away for a summer, and when I come back, things will be fine. Well, we're in a car, and my mom looks at me and she says, well, I'm still going to come pick you up because you're still my kid. I can come get you when I want. And I told her, I'm like, no, I told you I wanted to stay with my grandmother the entire summer. That means me staying up there and not going anywhere else. And then she told me, well, I still get you 3 weeks out of the summer, so you're going to come home, obviously. And that's when I realized I didn't have any agency with her. It was her way or no way. So, I decided when my grandmother came to pick me up from my after my junior exams, I looked at her and I go, I'm not going home. And she didn't understand at first. She was like, what do you mean you're not going home? I said, I'm not going home. I can't do it anymore. And I had a full-blown breakdown and explained to her everything that had been happening. I'm not going to go into detail because some of it was pretty mentally taxing, and I've been going through therapy. I called my mom, and I said, I'm not coming home. And she says, well, obviously not. You're spending the summer up there. I'm like, no, that's not what I mean. I'm not coming home ever. And then she asked me what I meant. I explained to her, you have been mentally and physically abusive since I was a child. We went to court, when I was 12, we went to court over the physical abuse, and the therapist I had at the time flip-flopped on me, and I just got stuck with my mom again. When I say physically abusive, you see these little bumps and stuff on my arm? I have a severe anxiety disorder that I had been getting treated for in therapy. And I do this because I get anxious, and I scratch and I pick. It's seriously something I do. It's a weird nervous tick, I think, really. And when my mom sees me doing that, she takes her hand and smacks and slaps me. Which, no, that is not what you do with a kid. My grandmother, when she sees me doing this, she grabs my hand and holds it and just starts rubbing my hand. Because she knows it's anxiety. And I've told my mom it's anxiety because I can't understand things, and we don't know what's up with my brain. Well, I have brain damage in some parts of my brain, and I don't understand things don't make sense, and I start to get really anxious. She would hit me, and whenever we were behind closed doors, my mom always acted like she was such a nice person to other people, and then when we were behind closed doors, she would take out the anger she felt towards them on me, yelling, shouting, cussing me out. I was essentially stuck in a place where I couldn't do anything. It was really, really rough. So, that junior year, I just didn't go back. And that's when everything started. My mom was obviously upset that I wasn't coming home. Sorry, the glasses. And, started questioning where all this came from, why I never talked about it. And I had talked about it. I think I have 3 notes on file. All throughout my life, I had periods of suicidal thoughts. And when I would have these thoughts, after my mom had hurt me in a really bad way, I would write it down, wait for her to be gone because I was so scared that she would yell at me, and then I would sit on the table. Instead of talking to me about what was in the note, she would just send me to a therapist, which I really needed, honestly. I still do. I still have a therapist. And it was really rough. So I had talked to her. I had brought up things, and she would always tell me, that's just part of growing up. You just gotta push through and go. It's just part of growing up. I had problems with friends where my friends literally scared me. See, I have a cousin. I think I've mentioned her in a video, and she was in a video. Her name's Haley. I have a cousin who was around my same age. She's like a year older than me. And my mom and her sister pushed us together because they were great friends, so we had to be great friends. That didn't go well. Haley had friends. I didn't have friends. I was their little doormat. I was always being pushed around, being talked down to, and to put it simply, I was the laughingstock of the group.
There were some people that were actually my friends. Uh, these are not people that peer pressured me or anything. These were people that had moved away, and with my senior year, they moved back. And as soon as they saw that all this stuff was going around, they started questioning and asking what was going on, and said that if I had just left, why were people talking bad about me? Because turns out the group that I thought was my good friends were talking about me, saying I just wanted the attention, I wanted the drama, all of that. That is what was going on. Sorry.
Um, to put it simply, I was the laughingstock of the group. And it really fucked with me. And one time, I was so scared that I told my mom, someone is literally threatening me because I just told them they were a little too much at times and I was honest with them. She told me, well, you just gotta suck it up and go face her, go do this. And I was like, I'm not strong. She will beat me up. And she just told me, go face her. Didn't call the school, didn't do anything, even though I was being threatened that the next day at school I was going to get the hell beat out of me. Just told me, go on and face the music. It was terrifying, and they had peer pressured me a lot. One time they were having an argument with someone, and they insisted that we go walk the train tracks to their house. Fun fact: the thing about trains, you can feel trains. That's not true. We were walking back, and one of my friends just screams, "Run!" And we were on a really high ledge, so we couldn't just jump off the tracks. So we were running and trying to outrun a train. I was crying at this point because I was terrified until we finally got to a point where the tracks up went up like this on the sides, and so we ran off into the side and let the train run past us. I was so scared. I went home. I was in tears, and my mom didn't ask why I was crying. She just said, "Don't ever be out that late again. I told you to be home by this time." Here I am, a person shaking, crying, no care. I tried with, and then my friends peer pressured me at our junior prom. I don't like alcohol. I have a lot of traumas with it because of how many people have drank in my family. And I get home after prom, it's 2 a.m., and I was hoping to talk to my mom and say, hey, so my cousin got me a drink, and could you maybe tell my aunt about it? My mom is drinking and partying because it's her birthday, and she was upset that I had prom on her birthday. Her friend, my mom's friend, keep in mind this is an adult, pushes something in my face. I don't know what it was. I still don't know what it was. And tells me, here, you're old enough, get drunk. I looked at my mom, and my mom just shrugged. So I was made to drink something because an adult pressured me to. Adult that I had looked up to for most of my life. Things just went down from there. I moved out, and during senior picture day, I went to my mom's, I was like, hey, I'm gonna get something, I'm gonna get my stuff. I went and took everything of mine and put it in the car and left with my grandmother. She messages me, she's like, I mean, I thought you said you were just getting some stuff, but you got everything. I'm like, yeah, I got everything that was mine because I'm not coming home. You don't deserve to have my stuff when I don't live there. We went to therapy, me and my mom. Tried to work on our relationship because my therapist recommended it was a good idea. And this is a therapist I've had for I've had her since I was 18, so 4 years now? Nope, 3 years. 3 years. Hi, Inky. Hi, Sky. My dogs are here now. And whenever we went there, my therapist tried to explain to her, hey, your kid is a very cuddly, loving person. Could you maybe hug her when she needs... Inky, stop hitting the laptop. When she needs it? And, well, my mom looked at my therapist and said, we don't do that in my family. I know, Inky. This is Inky, my little puppy. Sky's here, too. But my therapist looked at me one day and said, your mom isn't going to try. I've tried with her, but she isn't going to try anything. It hurt a lot, knowing that my mom wasn't going to give it a shot. I started trying to cut her off. I'm still trying to cut her off. She pops up on holidays and stuff, and then Christmas came around. This was 2020, obviously. I said, okay, I'll come over. I was coming over for holidays still, because I wanted to be a part of my family still. I said, I will come over for Christmas on one condition. You all have to have everyone has to have either gotten a test or and proven that they don't have the virus. Well, I kept messaging her like, hey, has everyone gotten their tests? No one's gotten their test yet, but it'll be fine. I'm like, no, I'm not coming over unless they get their tests. And then I got sick. I caught the virus. The only way we could have done is at my dentist, because my dentists weren't wearing their masks and everything, all that. And then my real pain started. I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is you have a 0.002% chance of getting in your genetic history. Well, that's a rare disease, and turns out I have it. But after I got the virus, and it is linked to the virus because they've proven that this is linked to what it does, what it affects with you. I was sitting in my bed. I had moved into this room, and me and my grandmother are talking, and all of a sudden, she thought I had a stroke because it felt like I couldn't talk for the longest time. We drove an hour down to go to another hospital, and I was not talking the whole time because I couldn't form words. And I'm spasming like crazy, like my whole body is seizing up. So they found nothing. They thought I was just having like a reaction to drugs. Inky, no. They treated me like I was having a drug reaction, and no. They did not do an EEG, which is what they should have done. It took a year. We got to a movement disorder doctor, and he's like, maybe it's a movement disorder, but that just treats with therapy. My therapist looks at me, she's like, I've been treating you for a year with that method they're telling you, and nothing. You're still having these. So we say, but she discovered something, that the virus, if you are predisposed to some things, the virus can bring it out in your genetic makeup. Well, I go get an EEG, I think a month or two ago. Turns out I have seizures. I'm having seizures, which is for a year. They had told me I couldn't be having seizures, that these weren't seizures. If I'm conscious, they can't be seizures. Because I basically fall on the floor, I can't move, but my whole body is acting crazy. I can't control my movements, but I'm awake. It's like I'm trapped in my own body. I tell my mom. And she's been, the whole time she's been like, well, could it be linked to this or this? Are you sure you're not overreacting about it? And it has been hell trying to get through to her that I am seriously sick. I have to walk with a cane because my knees and legs and my hip gives out. I have a walker, essentially. Sorry, words are hard. I have a walker, and I use that a lot. It's It's been terrible. Oh yeah, turns out I also needed glasses because I have nearsighted, farsighted, and then I have astigmatism in this eye too. So all these years, I've been wondering why things always look fuzzy. Turns out I'm nearsighted and farsighted. My mom just refuses to acknowledge it. So I now live here with my grandmother, my grandfather, my sister, and my father. I haven't had time to make videos because obviously I'm constantly going to doctor's offices and stuff. Um, Things have just been terrible. About a year ago, I had a cat. His name was Chess. And then a day before my birthday, he died. He had a heart attack because he had a level 3 heart murmur and no, level 4 heart murmur. Whenever I got him fixed, they weren't even sure if he would survive, and I was so thankful when he did. And he just passed away one day, laying down on the floor. Then recently, a friend of mine passed away. His name was Stu. He was a really good friend, really good person. And life's just not been good to work on videos or work on things. I have worked in a different community. I draw, I do things like that, and I'm now working in a community on a MMORPG I play. Well, more an MMO right now because they're still working on the game. It was just really, really rough. I am trying my hardest. And maybe one day I can come back and make videos again and do all this. It would be fun. But right now I'm not in a good headspace to do it. But thank you for listening. I'm sorry this is a long video. I just needed to explain where I've been and why there's no videos and why all this stuff didn't work out. It was just a lot. I had this thought last night that I was like, I never made a video explaining where I went, explaining what happened. But I know I need to. I know I need to explain what happened. It feels good getting it off my chest. I mean, I've been talking to therapists about this stuff for 4 years now, and it just feels good to get it off my chest. A lot of my family doesn't believe me. My mom's side of the family doesn't believe me. But if any of them end up seeing this, I want you to know I'm not lying. My mom may seem like a good person, but she's not. She trash talks everyone behind closed doors, and she let our dog die. She hit me as a child. Why do you think there was a court case? My mom wasn't good. And it has turned me into a physically and mentally unstable person. Trauma can last forever. There are some things I can't even look at without remembering my mom. And it's really, really awful. And that's why I don't hang out around my other family. I stay here. I'm kind of a recluse right now because of the seizures and everything. Until I can figure out what type of seizures they are, because we only recently discovered I have seizures and I still have to go back to my neurologist. Don't hide. If you believe you are being abused, speak up. You don't have to hide. It doesn't matter if other people leave you, and if people leave you because you spoke up, they were never your friends. Abuse is something serious. We shouldn't sit back and let it happen to us. If you don't speak up, it's just going to get worse. Sorry. Thank you for listening, and I guess I should use my old sign off. Peace, love, and remember there's always hope.